Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown wants to know where's the money. Brown was among those questioning the Treasury Secretary and the chairman of the Federal Reserve on Capitol Hill today. They came before the Senate Banking Committee. It's their first public testimony since the $2.5 trillion CARES Act was passed 2 months ago. News 5's John Kosick with us now. John, this thing got testy at times.
Yeah, Rob, it was technically a virtual hearing taking place remotely, but that doesn't mean that even through a computer screen, you can't get in somebody's face. While much of the debate in today's Senate Banking Committee hearing focused on the administration's economic response to the coronavirus pandemic, Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin got into a back and forth on a number of issues, including whether the administration was pushing for the reopening of the economy too fast, putting workers' lives at risk.
You're pushing people back into the workplace. There's been no national program to provide worker safety. The president says reopen slaughterhouses, nothing about slowing the line down, nothing about getting protective equipment. Is how many workers should give their lives to increase the GDP or the Dow Jones by 1,000 points?
Workers should give their lives to do that, Mr. Senator, and I think your characterization is unfair. We have provided enormous amounts of equipment. We've worked with the governors. We've done a terrific job of getting...
Mr. Secretary, I'm not going to let you make a political speech about what a great job. We hear that from the president in his news conferences, when in fact this country, the president is still not led an effort to scale up testing. He's played state after state. State against state. He's played hospital against hospital to get protective equipment. Everybody in the country, your comments notwithstanding, knows that.
The two also squaring off over whether the question of why the essential workers in this crisis are often some of the lowest paid. Brown, of course, pushing for pandemic pay in the next stimulus for some of those workers, including grocery store workers.
Well, they got testy to say the least there. Did they talk about whether that money that they pumped in so far has had any impact at all?
Yeah, they did, probably in a couple of months, because the reality is we got $2.5 to $3 trillion of money that's already been approved by Congress. Some of it as far back as 2 months ago. But the Fed chair today said only a modest amount. Some say would only half have been infused into the economy. So that's why some are saying, let's hold off on the next stimulus till we see how these other stimulus, we get that money into the system.